How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jimmy. We're making it work. I'm limping my way around the shop today because I was working on that old 65 yesterday. I did something to my left knee, and it was a little sore, and it's gotten progressively worse overnight. So you might see me hobbling a little bit today. That's my point. Old man issues. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. I'll just put a new knee in soon or something, because I've had that knee worked on before. I actually was moving a gas tank years ago and turned with the gas tank full of gas to try to put it on the workbench to do a fuel pump in it. And my knee went, kind of caved in. And it's been a problem ever since, so it is what it is. All we do is what we normally do. We find a way to make it work. We hobble around, and we put a little knee brace on I got from when I originally had a knee problem, and it's an ongoing thing. It's been like 10 or 11 years now. Anyway, we're not here for my knee. We're not here for ear surgery, knee surgery, any of those kind of surgeries. We're here for a day in the shop. We're going to fix classics. We're going to fix European cars, Asians, domestics. We do it all. Pickup trucks, 1-tons, whatever we got to do. Tow trucks, flatbeds, semis, tractors, bulldozers, whatever you got, we'll fix it. Joe's doing a transmission on an 87 Cadillac. It's pretty funny. He's doing the transmission on an 87 Cadillac, complaining about working on all the old stuff. So anyway, we'll put some clips in right here with what you might expect in this video today. Look at this 2014 Mustang. Dodge Challenger, man. Toyota Corolla. This away. All right, we got a beautiful morning, 66 degrees, beautiful sunrise. It's probably supposed to be like 83 today, I think they said. We'll see. It's going to be warm, but in the 80s doesn't bother me. It's when it gets to about 95, it starts to feel hot. Let's finish getting the shop open up. I'll probably be working on this wiper motor dealio at some point. And I got a couple other things going on too, so it should be interesting. Let's try to learn a thing or two. Have some fun. Stay tuned. Look at this 2014 Mustang. It's making some funny noises, and we're gonna find out what's making the noise. Pretty clean inside. I'll give it a 6. I'm not sure about the mileages on this. We'll have to get the key. Oh, there it is. 150,235 miles. My goodness gracious, it's a sports car for the weekend. What are you doing? It's like twice the life expectancy of your average Ford Mustang. I apologize, Ford guys. That's actually not bad. 75,000 on a life expectancy. 75K. That's not bad. Should be proud. Let's start this thing up. Put on our doctor ears and see if we can pinpoint it. They're thinking water pump or something, but I don't know. I don't know what to think at this point. Either sounds like the water pump or something in the motor behind it. Let's put the ears on. It's definitely coming from over here. I can't tell if it's inside the timing cover or outside. It sounds a little like it might be inside. Maybe we'll take the belt off and see. There's definitely something going on there, but I could just loosen the tension or pop the belt off, and then we'll see if the noise changes. Now, I'm gonna get this belt completely off the crank so bad things don't happen. Let's see what this spins like. Oh yeah. That solved that problem. We don't need to go any further. I'm not supposed to do that. Bomba de agua, as they like to say in Kissimmee. That's Spanish for water pump, if you don't have a translator. Whoa, don't be jealous. Dodge Challenger, man. Woo-wee. It's a shame they're not going to have these with the Hemis anymore. Well, this one doesn't have it either, so what's the big deal? But it is American muscle. I like that. That's pretty cool. That makes me want to find out where it's built. Probably built in the US, I hope. Coolant leak. Customer has to add coolant every day. We're piling them up out here. See a lot of people ragging on Chevrolet on the internet. Oh, that is a GM, 1987. And I'm working on one too, a 65. Just saying. 180,113 loving miles. Gonna get a 5. Nothing too good, nothing too bad, nothing bad. It's got a check engine light on, got a TPMS light blinking. A couple other issues. We're not worried about that. We're gonna back shelve those, see where the coolant's going out at. We don't like that. We want coolant to stay in it. That is about 3 times the life expectancy for one of these cars, FYI. I almost forgot to look and see where this American Muscle was made. Dun, dun, dun. Chrysler Group LLC. Vehicle made in Canada. American Muscle made in Canada. Okay. It looks like the heater hoses are leaking back here. I don't know if you can see that. It's spraying down the firewall and stuff. We're going to go through the formality of putting some water in it though, so we'd be 100% sure instead of 99. I'm going to overfill it a little bit so it goes nice and high where the heater hoses are. It's going to need a little pressure. I thought it was going to drip right out of there. What do I know? I know 2 + 2 is 5. Let's get the pressure tester on there. I think that's just a conventional cap too. Cool. American Muscle in Canada. I'm going to move my light a little so it doesn't get sprayed. I'm guessing it's going to. Just playing a hunch. I am shocked. I mean, I'm going to look somewhere else. It may not be leaking. It's showing traces of leakage, but I don't see an everyday after I had coolant leak. Let's look elsewhere. See what else we can find. I'm going to recommend that no matter what, just because it's got coolant remnants on it. So that's not good. It is plastic. Well, I am not seeing any clear-cut leaks. Nothing dripping underneath the car. Dry up paint. Alright, caveman. Settle down, caveman. They'll let you make more commercials. Got a water pump done not too long ago. I would say maybe a year or two, not a couple weeks, but. And then, yeah.
Does that old truck move?
Yeah.
Can I steal that lift?
If you want, yeah. I'm going to let it sit under pressure for a minute, and I'm going to fire it up, see if it misfires. This might have a bad head gasket, so that's what we're looking. That's what we're looking like. All right, let's start this up. Runs a little better than I expected it might. Oil change required. It's not flickering like it looks like. It's because the LED's on a frequency, and the frame rate of the camera gets pretty happy if they match. Anyway, it ran pretty good starting it up, so we just need to put pressure on it for a little bit longer and see if something rears its ugly head. Maybe when it gets hot the water pump leaks or something like that. We have more work to do, more investigatory type work. Something's happening. That's not supposed to do that. Probably the oil cooler dealio. Might be coming out of the middle and the back. Let's get that cover off of there. Well, yep, there's some stuff going on with the oil filter housing leaking. There's a very, very minor chance a head gasket or something, but normally they're not going to be dumping out into the valley. Normally be dumping into a cylinder first, but it's hard to say for sure till we get it all apart and get a 100% eyeball on it. But the oil cooler on these things, you guys know, it's 3.6 Pentastar. It's a staple in the automotive repair business. Highly recommended engine. It's not really funny. All right, let me let them know up front. And I'll be working on the Mustang water pump, working on the Chrysler oil filter housing, and we'll see what happens. Probably something else to do in the meantime too. We got approval to do the water pump. 410s and some 8mm. These are pretty easy, so I'm not sure how far down it goes though. I should say they're pretty easy from memory. Been a little while. Let's find out if it really is easy. Get that out of the way. Just a couple clamps, and oh yeah, it goes up. That's right, it goes to this thing. That's cool. So they force you to take this off so you can get to they hide a bolt under there. I remember, just like the trucks, but it's in a Mustang. I would normally try to leave these hoses on, but it looks like there's corrosion and probably minor seepage there, so if I take them off I can clean that up too. So let's do that. We'll grab a hose clamp tool, get some of them out of the way, and off we go. I gotta take this pulley off too. Alright, be like that if you want. These corrode so bad and puff up, and the clamps won't open enough to get them off. Pretty cool. Sometimes you go the other way, that's all. Trying to get hit in the face with your clamp tool. It's all good. Always got to find a workaround, which is alright. I'm used to it. Yeah, about 70% of it's going in the pan. That's good. You can live with that. Now you got to get aggressive. Vice grips holding the clamp. Sometimes they pop off. We'll see what happens. You guys that work on Fords, this is nothing new. But the rest of us are quite shocked. Now, I should be able to unbolt some of these goodies. There's some 8mm. I can take this off. I can clean all this nastiness off so that the hoses will go on and the clamps will work. That's the plan. See Ford's tolerance for the bolts? You want to make sure it's going to fit. That's good stuff, man. I don't care who you are. Even Ford fans got to know that's funny. I don't know why they do it. It's the only brand that does it. Electrolysis, basically. Back in the old days when we used to work on Fords, we would add engine grounds and stuff, try to reduce it so heater cores don't corrode and stuff. You older guys, you know, this is something that's been happening on Fords for 50 years. And I don't know why. But, we got it, no big deal. Quit your crying, dang it. I think there's another bolt on this, that's what I'm looking for. And yeah, this is it. What are the odds that the water pump will come with the O-ring that goes up here? Pretty low, let's see. Part's not here yet, but we'll see when it gets here. A little prying, a little hammering, a little chiseling, torches, comes right off. Gotta try to persuade it to come off. Eventually it will. There's corrosion up there too, I'm guessing. Playing hard, just giving a little pressure. Rocking it back and forth to get that corrosion past that O-ring. Feels like it went. Oh yeah. It's just Ford stuff, nothing to worry about. Look at this. Boom. I'm sorry, Ford guys. It's just, it never gets old for me. It's always entertaining no matter what. That is, it probably is going to need to be replaced. I'm going to have to chip all this calcium, build up corrosion, electrolysis, whatever you want to call it, and chip it all away and see what we got. If it's pitted badly enough, it'll have to be replaced. So part of it's not doing coolant flushes when you're supposed to and stuff like that, but this actually looks like it might have been leaking slightly. But we'll get it cleaned up and make sure we got the proper O-rings and stuff. And now the water pump's easy after that. Now it's just 5 or 6 8mm bolts and the water pump comes off. That's the the O-ring there that does the magic. Definitely gonna need one of those. And clean that up with a little plastic brush. I think the O-ring for that is in here. Yep, there it is. I don't think there's a bolt underneath here. Let's give it a little love and see. There's a tube under there I think it goes to, because you can't have enough O-rings and stuff. There you go. Look at that thing, huh? Look at that son of a gun. I'm going to clean this upper one. I've already cleaned it a little bit. I just got to touch it up. Make sure there's no big chunks of buildup on it. I want to make it look like it's been worked on in here so no one sees a trace of an old coolant leak and says, oh, something was leaking or is leaking. This one I believe the O-ring is in the water pump, and this is like a stopper. Another piece of rubber, secondary deal. I'm using my brass brush. I can't find a plastic one. I must have destroyed it and not replaced it yet. This is gentle enough, it won't hurt anything. Except the brush. I mangle them pretty good. Don't worry, it'll make you more. I normally wouldn't even recommend this on here, but there's so much corrosion. Anything's better than a Scotch lock, basically. Or whatever they call those Rulock pads. Whatever. Let's go over to the thermostat housing assembly and show you how I chip off the corrosion from that. I just pretty much take a chisel by hand. It does a good job of cleaning it off, and shows you if there's any weak spots where it might go through or anything crazy like that. Have you worked on a Ford lately? The phone, it's ringing. We got some new gasket. Look at that thing, huh? Looks quite a bit different than the old one. I'm probably going to do another thing that's a big no-no. Some people will understand, some people won't. Believe it or not, I cleaned this up too. It doesn't look like it, does it? Might have to wipe it down again. It's turning white. That's all inside the gasket. This has a flat plate gasket on a new water pump. There's a new O-ring inside there, and then I got new O-rings everywhere else. But what I was saying before I sidetrack myself is I'm gonna put a little smear of RTV in there, just because there's a little bit of corrosion in here, and I've cleaned it up pretty good. I mean, if you saw it before, well, you did see it before, didn't you? You remember what it looked like before? It was pretty nasty. I've got this decent. If it was much worse, I'd tell them probably should change it. So. But we'll rock it with a little RTV on here. I think this is the only area that might give us trouble. The hoses will be good. If I don't feel like those hoses are getting really tight, if the clamps are kind of fatigued from being stretched, then we'll have to put clamps on it. But we're going to try these first and see how they go. I would prefer the variable resistance clamps, the spring tension clamps. The worm clamps, once you set them, they don't adjust at all. So if the rubber relaxes, then you end up with a leak. So anyway. Start putting this thing back together. Water pump goes on first. I'm going to wipe that down with a rag and some brake clean one more time. Then we'll put this on. Alright, you. Let's get this cleaned off a little bit more. Got the tiniest little bit of RTV for that lower O-ring too. We just make them replace everything, like get a new engine, we won't have to worry about it, but it doesn't seem like that's an option. That's pretty simple, really, that one. 4 pulleys. AC has its own. Let's put a little coolant in it. Check the lights. Give that a minute to settle down. Let's fire this thing up, see if any more air percolates out of it. Did you feel that? You start up a Mustang, you can feel it alter the rotation of the earth. Might have just been a little gas, I'm not sure, but one or the other. I'll let this thing run a minute. See if it burps at all. I didn't vacuum fill it because I haven't had a problem on these. This air bleed up top, it's really helpful. So we will let it run and check it in a couple minutes. 2020 Toyota Corolla. I see some body work in here already. It's probably a previous repair. This car's had a rough life for a 3-year-old car. 88,800 miles on a 2020. They go places. They got things to do, things to see. Go around the world. Just about ready for new glasses. We're gonna mount this here wheel on the right front. All right, settle down now. And we're gonna do an alignment if nothing's bent. So we'll take a look around for bent stuff real quick. Get this tire mounted and see how we go from there. Oh, that Dodge Challenger? Charger and Challenger used to both be 2 doors, but Dodge decided 4 doors were cool, and they did it, I think, to sell police cars apparently. I see them everywhere. Squirrel! The Challenger, he bailed, so his estimate was like $1,500 bucks. He was like, what can you do for $250? Pull your car around, so that's what he did. He didn't have any money, so. Mustang, I got cooling off. I got to check the coolant one more time after it settles a little bit, cools down. And that keychain's really annoying, so let's carry on, get to work. At a glance, I thought it had alloy wheels. I was like, this has got to be the spare, but then I realized, nope, this is the actual wheel, and we're changing it because of that. It's got a little tiny mark here and a little dent, and it's got a bigger dent here, but you can straighten these, but body shops don't roll that way, I'm guessing. You can see like curves and stuff, and hubcaps long gone, so I guess they'll deal with that afterwards. This tire is really not any good, but we're not doing a tire. We're gonna put this ball tire on the new Steely. Not sure what this is, someone's gum or something. Delicious. That's body shop tape. That's the new Steely wheelie. Get this thing over to the tire machine. Gotta jack her up first. It does have a TPMS light on. They didn't ask about that. Transfer ball tire, you got it. Transfer the ball tire on my new wheel. TPMS sensor. I prefer to change the gaskets and stuff, but it's in pretty decent shape. The car's only a few years old. Where the tire stuff went. Punch yourself in the face with tools. So we want to go the width 6 and diameter I think is 16. Let's make sure. 16. Boom. Not sure what kind of balancing it's set on. We'll see. That hood's not going to really do anybody much good with that little tiny tire. All right. A couple little weights and then we'll do an alignment next. Double odd 0. That's what we want to see. Oh, that's interesting. That wheel's way off. I didn't see anything visibly bent, but the alignment machine's way more accurate than my eyeballs are. I mean, I know there's some guys on the internet that can do it with string. I gotta shut this off. Low on gas, and I don't want to run out of gas while it's here. Steering wheel is locked straight. Let's take a look underneath. We gotta set this toe before we can let her go. Caster's out a little bit in the right front, but nothing terrible. Just a tiny little bit, and it's not adjustable, so I'm not to see what we do with that. I might adjust the toe, re-sweep the caster and see if it changes. Lock nut last. Look at that, how green that thing is up there right behind Bill's head. It's all green. Well, that's just the back. Look at this thing, huh? It's like professional studio stuff going on right there. 7/8 on the lock nut. Try to keep in mind where your knuckles are headed to when it loosens up. This one's got to get towed out, so I want to shorten the tie rod end since it's in back. Get off of there. It's a 15.2. The tie rod end. You son of a gun. 16's too big. Uh-oh. Put that back on because it'll try to lock again otherwise. So, let's see if we can go a little more. Lock this down and we'll go take a look. Good as new. Everything's green except that right caster, but we'll re-sweep it, see if it changed because the toe was out pretty bad. Alright, everything is buttery except that caster. It did get 2/10 better. I think it's in the red by 1/10. Look at this. 6.0, 5.9. Let's see what they want to do with that. I might be able to shift the cradle a little bit or something, but it's not a big deal. The cross caster is not bad. It's going to go, camber is going to go left because it's got more camber on the left, and caster is going to go slightly right. Let me see what they want to do, and we'll see what's next. The problem you're looking for is this away. Matter of fact, it's right there. That's the wiper motor we're changing out. I don't want to hear another word about it. It's going to happen one way or another. And I've got an 8mm chrome swivel right here that says so, because 5/16 is the same. And got my electrical connectors off. It's got the factory washer pump option too, but we're gonna have to add a separate washer system if he wants washers. So I think I'd be happy just having, oh, that comes off a lot. The tape's not doing too good. Need a bracket for it. Washers are gonna be separate like I did in my truck. I put a toggle switch in there. So let's get this thing out. I pulled some of the ducting off. It's pretty easy to get on. You just reshape it, push it on. There's little suggestion nipples on here to kind of hold her in place, but they don't work that great. Sometimes you got to push them back on, especially if you get rough in your feet and you like to kick stuff. Extra wires, don't worry about that stuff. Pay attention. Do the wiper motor, Jimmy. Stop trying to fix more stuff. That was the one I was worried about. Cool. I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. Now I got one left. Can't see it. That means you can't. I apologize. Let's try to get you a little light out. Oh, look at that. Now you can see it. Now it's glaring at you like the sun. Now the wiper motor's only held up by osmosis at this point, or whatever you call stiction. A little tug. She should be out of there. Man, there is a nest of wiring into here. Mine's not perfect either, I gotta say, but it's better than this. Uh-oh. Is there a fourth screw? I don't think so, buddy. Alright. Coming off of there somehow or another. I bet you it's just bunches of paint and stuff holding it. I might have to get me a screwdriver of some sort, or, well, you know what? There's a speaker above it. I wonder if it's hitting on that and it's bound in there. I'm gonna have to get some kind of prying implement to put right in here and suggest a little more firmly that it needs to come out. Let me just give it one more suggestive tug. And, oh, see? Told you I didn't need to get a prying tool. I just needed to be a little more assertive, you know? Nice guys don't get wiper motors out. That's what I'm saying. Look at this thing. My goodness gracious. It's been in there a while. Uh-oh. Get out of my way, will you? I got harnesses and motors and stuff to put in, and I cannot have you blocking me. That's hard to see. I think it goes like that. Now it doesn't seem to fit exact. A little disconcerting. Oh, there it is. I gotta find the threaded hole and start these little, these are Phillips instead of 5/16 like the original one is. It'll work. Just requires the standard dancing, you know the deal. You're not dancing, you're not getting things done. That's just it. Deal with it. Deal with it, mister. I got to run this harness over to the other side. This is where my wipers is going to hook up, and I don't want to entangle it in anything that I don't have to. The wiper switch is left of the steering column, so it's going to go over the steering column. I'm going to get these wires through there, and then I'll put the rest of the screws in. Alright, the hardest screw on this thing. Let me see if you want to go take a closer look. Hang on. Can you see it? There it is. Oh yeah. That one, can't get any power tools on it. You gotta use one of these here ratchet wrenches. The other two, I used Phillips on the other two. Nice and easy. I'm gonna call that good. Whew. Start putting some of these ducks back on. Get all my ducks in a row. No extra charge for that stuff, by the way. This one, oh, that's right, I pushed one back up here. Where is it? One of them has to go back on a defrost. I just got to figure out which one. I don't want to pull off the wrong one. Uh-oh. Aha! See it up there? I knew I shouldn't have put these lower ones on. Put that one on first. I just got to finagle it back out of there. And we are moving on to the switch, which, if I remember correctly, wasn't too bad. There's a lot of wires for stuff. I don't know what to go to, so I gotta figure that out. I think this one might be on my harness and I didn't pull it through yet. Alright, now these can go back on. I know that much. They don't fit very tight. The kit, my kit is a different brand. Mine's Old Air, this is Vintage Air. And mine actually, these fit a lot better on mine. Not bragging, I'm just saying. Facts are facts. Little wiper nut dealio. I just use this to loosen it up. Got a little slot in it. Try to get that so it's not glaring at you. And see if we can snake this out of here. Let's grab that new wiper switch and see what we got to do with that one. Well, now we're dealing with hot rod stuff like you might expect. The switch that comes with this wiper motor is different. It has this nut on it instead of this bezel, which the bezel doesn't fit it, so you can't even use it. But they haven't painted the dash. They painted the dash with this in place. That's the original color, that greenish gold color. Very common on these trucks, but I have to find a way to put this bezel on to cover that. Otherwise, it's not going to be painted. So I might try to just slip on the bezel and then one of the nuts. We'll see how that works. Hey, you're back. I didn't even know you took a nap. That's all right. We're gonna. Oh, this doesn't reach the nuts. Just barely. Uh-oh. That might just work. Not the prettiest thing ever, but it's better than the unpainted area under the bezel. They call it an escutcheon. I want to get that kind of parallel, or how do you want to say that, with the dash? I want to get it in line with the dash. It's the only labeled switch, which is kind of weird, but not much I can do about it. That's what comes with this kit. High, low, off. Okay. We gotta hook up this power wire, make sure the motor's parked, then we can finish putting the outside back together. Well, as luck would have it, found me a 12-volt ignition source. I don't know what this is. Is this supposed to be connected? What do you think? Should I connect it? I don't know. I don't know what it's for. We'll see if something doesn't work and maybe it goes there. The carpeting, this piece is just kind of added. This is where the carpeting ends, and normally this is all just metal. No one really cared back then. They weren't like, oh my god, atrocious, I can't drive that truck, I can see the firewall. They didn't care. That's just funny how times have changed. Let's see if the wipers work. What do you say? Now, we won't see any arms moving because I haven't attached them yet, but I'll be able to hear the motor. You guys will hear it with me. Let's see. Ta-da! I heard it. All right. Attach my ground up under here to the steering column area, and power, and that's all you need to do for this kit. Wiper switch and everything, basically all pre-wired. You just plug the wires in like I showed you. Now you're gonna hook up everything outside. It should have parked back where it's supposed to be. That's why I like to run it as well as knowing that it's working. Well, that doesn't sound right. The upper arms apparently make noise too. Let's get this all hooked up and see how it works. I can't really get that arm flat like I theorized. I think I was able to on mine. I'm gonna hook it up and spin it again, see if it parks in the same exact place. If it does, go ahead and put the wiper arms on. I'll mark this with a Sharpie and tighten that up and see what this does. See if the rumors are true that it might go backwards first if the arm's facing the wrong way, which honestly, mechanically, I don't understand how that would happen. The motor just turns on and off. The only difference is when it parks. Sometimes it'll stop and then park, but this doesn't work that way. It just goes dunk and stops. Let's test the theory and see. Maybe I'm wrong. It hasn't happened yet. I was mistaken once. How does that go? Something like that. All right, I got that little nut tightened up on the wiper arm to motor connection. Now you tell me if the wipers look like they're working and if they're parking in the same place. Ignition on, wipers on, park, park, perfect. All right, I think we're good. That's what we call in the business good to go. Easy, easy. Now I had to push these back on those 4 tabs under the windshield. There's supposed to be a piece of rubber in between these 2 pieces of metal that helps deflect water, and it has a 90 and it comes up. Helps make the water run down here. But there wasn't one in there, so I guess we're not concerned about it. That's a little weird. They work though. Those arms fit on there really loose. The blades, I mean, fit on the arms really loose. If I go out there and I can push that down and straighten it out. Cool aftermarket stuff. Perfect. I think we're going to head over the alignment rack with this monstrosity. Grease everything up real good in the front end. I got my push rods from my engine. I checked one for length against what's in there, and it has stock length push rods in there. So I'll just have a bunch of extras. Oh, you know what this is? Someone tell me in the comments what this is. Got a new bolt for the crank in my engine. This one's about ½ an inch longer, so I can get to good threads. And I got thread lock for fixing the rocker arm studs. This is going to be for the AC belt. I need to pull it away from the lower radiator hose. We got plans. There'll be more project truck videos, let's put it that way. Let's over the alignment rack while no one's on it. Just a dab will do you. Uh-oh. Need to go in though, not just spray all over the outside of the grease fitting. There is no grease fitting in that one. Uh-oh. Have to sort something out with that. Go around and get these all greased. Start aligning this thing. Alright, this thing has been greased 9 ways to Thursday. And still getting a little bit of a squeak. Probably out of the upper control arm bushings. They're original too. So I'm not gonna try to align it tonight. It's getting too late, and that's going to be a 2 or 3 hour alignment because you got to get to the upper A arm shims through the wheel well. If you lift up, the body's got to go up a little bit so you can get your head in there. Well, to fit this head, it's definitely got to go up. So thanks for watching this video today. We're going to finish this up in the morning, I think. We'll see what happens. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you'll torque the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I hope I'll see you in the next video because you're awesome.